I want to thank everyone for having me. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be the trainer in this group. And what does that mean exactly, to be a trainer? You know, we watch trainers on TV, and, you know, maybe some of us may or may not have had personal trainers in the past. And what I want to talk about today is really what it means to me, and what an honor and a privilege it is to have someone put their health and their bodies in my hand. And the only way to describe that is it's not about the exercises, because truth be told, you could go on YouTube and find exercises. You could go online and look up leg exercises, core exercises, upper body exercises, and maybe get a decent workout. But it's not about that. It's about forming the right program around the individual. You know, throughout my life, I've taken, you know, Pilates, yoga, I've played all different sports. But there have been pivotal moments in my life where health, fitness, wellness, exercise has drastically increased my health, my happiness, my well-being, my productivity. So today, in today's presentation, I want to talk about pivotal moments that have caused me as a trainer to care more than anyone else, which is why I feel like I am a truly great trainer. It's not about the exercises, it's because I care. I care about your wellness, I care about your health. So growing up as a child, I spent my whole life in New York. I was born in Uptown Manhattan, and I was kind of a chunky, unhealthy little kid. I had severe asthma, and I had severe asthma, and I also had a dog. And the dog's name was Lucky, and it was a big collie. But Lucky wasn't so lucky for me because I was very allergic to Lucky, and we ended up having to get rid of our dog. And my parents, exactly. My parents, you know, unfortunately, like a lot of parents do, they argued a lot. And when I was about 9 or 10 years old, I remember my dad telling me that, you know, he had to leave. And my parents were getting divorced. And when he told me he was leaving, he said, "Now you're the man of the house." And here I'm a fat, chunky little kid with asthma. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm the man of the house. And I felt in that moment that I had to find a way to become healthy. I didn't know how I was going to do it. But I remember being in gym class and like running for 5 minutes and having to go get my inhaler and take my inhaler. And shortly after that, I met a doctor at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital, and his name was Dr. Feldman. And he taught me some breathing exercises. Very similar to, I don't know if anyone's taken Kundalini yoga, but he taught me breathing exercises and to become aware of my breath. And I would do these breathing exercises religiously, 3, 4, 5 times a day, every day, every day. And I felt myself getting better and stronger and having less asthma attacks. And fast forward a couple of years, I was off my medication. I was feeling better. I was feeling stronger. I became an athlete. And that was it for me. I was like, exercise is the most important thing in the world. I became a high school athlete. It was great. And fast forward a little further, and I got a job. I remember I got a job in Grand Union Supermarket. I don't know if anybody remembers Grand Union Supermarket. But so I got a job in Grand Union Supermarket, and now all of a sudden I had some money in my pocket. I think I was making $4.50 an hour, right? Big money. And I remember knowing someone in, Grand Union Supermarket, and his name was Bobby, and he was older than me. He was like 30 years old, and I thought he was super cool. He probably wasn't the best influence on me because he drank a lot of beer and he gambled a lot. And one day it was lunchtime and he was going, and I said, Bobby, where are you going? You want to get lunch? He goes, no, I got to do something. I said, what do you got to do? He goes, I'm going to OTB to bet the horses. So I said, I want to bet the horses. He said, no, you're too young, right? So he let me go and he taught me how to bet the horses. So every week I would bet $5 or $10 on the horses. So one week on like a $4 bet, I won. I hit an exacta, which is first and second place correct. And there were long shots. And I won $700. Okay. I was 15, 16 years old. I won $700. So I take my $700 and I feel like amazing. So I run home and I see two of my friends and I'm like, we're going out. Where are we going? I said, I'm taking you guys to the diner. We're going to eat like kings today. And my friend Andrew goes, he goes, how much money did you make? I said, $700. He goes, holy shit, $700. He goes, let's eat what the rich people eat. I said, what do the rich people eat? He goes, Peter Luger's. So I said, all right, let's go to Peter Luger's. So we went to Peter Luger's, and as soon as we walk in, the guy's like, you know, do you have money? And I take out my money. He goes, all right, sit down. So I sit down, and we're sitting there. And I don't think at that point in my life I had ever seen a cloth napkin. So we're sitting there and we have cloth napkins. We're eating like kings. And I'm like, I want to do more of this. So then my focus somewhat became off of health and wellness. And I have to make money. I want to make a lot of money because I want to eat in Peter Luger's more often, right? So I did better in school. I went to college. I was an economics major. I graduated. Not too long after graduating, I worked for JP Morgan. And sure enough, in JP Morgan, I was making good money. I was driving a nice car. I was wearing fancy suits every day. And fast forward 10 years in, I came to the realization that I was very, very unhappy. So my focus was all about making money, but my focus had drastically come off my health. And I remember one night, because we would go to Bobby Van's, we would go to Carmine's, you know, client dinners. I thought I was living the life. And one night I remember having a headache, and shortly after that I went to the doctor and they said, hey, you know, you have high blood pressure and high cholesterol. I was like 32. High blood pressure, high cholesterol. I was an athlete. That wasn't me. So I decided, you know, I'm going to change my life. I didn't want to take medication because the first thing they said was, hey, you could take this medication. So my focus went back to health, wellness, taking care of myself. 3 months later, I got my blood work done, and all my numbers were better. Now, fast forward, it's about 2 weeks later, I get a call from my dad. My dad had a heart attack. And knock on wood, you know, he came out of it, but I became obsessed with having an understanding of exercise, health, wellness, well-being. So with that, it was just a big part of my life. And I was still working in the bank. I wasn't, you know, just going to leave that. But I met someone on a flag football team, and he was taking a personal training course. He goes, Jay, you would love this. You know, you'd love it. So I said, okay, you know, I'll check it out. So I checked it out, and I loved it. And I was like, okay, I'll become a personal trainer on the side, right? So I was working in banking, training on the side, and I realized that I absolutely loved training people. I was so passionate about it. It was the greatest thing for me. And I thought, man, what would it be like to just get rid of these suits and just train people on a regular basis, help people get healthier and happier. And fast forward a few more years, I had a daughter, Eliana, And at the time I had gotten busy, so I was waking up at 5 a.m. training people. I was going to the bank. And then I was training people at night, and I was never seeing her. And I said, I got to make a choice. And I quit the bank. And my wife at the time said I was crazy. My mom said I was going to be homeless. But I said, I got to make the leap. And that's when Fitness Journeys was born. And it's had its ups and downs, but it was the greatest moment of my life. And I absolutely love what I do. I would do it for free. If I won the lotto tomorrow, I'd still be a trainer. And all I want to do is continue to make people happy and healthy. Thank you guys for listening to me.